Hello guys, my name is Michael, and today we are going to proceed with our GTK radio button. This tiny little thing has so many things which you can work with. So basically until now, just a short brief, we were talking about functions, all those functions, and then we are talking about properties. Of course, we are talking about CSS nodes and CSS and so on. And now it is time for us to talk about signals. Let's go back to its documentation. Let me close these things here because there are too many. So GtkRadioButton says it has only one signal, which is group changed. Says emit when the group of radio button that a radio button belongs to change. This is emit when a radio button switches from being alone to being part of a group of two or more buttons, or vice versa, and when a button is moved from one group of two more buttons to different one, but not when the composition of the group that the button belongs to change. Just okay, it is quite clear, even if it is maybe a little bit confusing, maybe it's not. We are going to talk about this signal a little bit later, because you will see in a moment why. We cannot just create a simple example just to see how we catch this signal, because if we are doing this, then it will be a long video and we have a lot of things which we can take care of before we deal with this signal. So that being said, let's go back. We are going to catch first one, the toggle signal, which belongs to the toggle button. Let's go back to here, see toggle button, signals and toggle. Okay, so before we proceed with group change signal, we are going to catch this signal. Let me first catch the signal. So before we move, let us make another button, RadioButton 2 I will call it, and then I will copy this part here, create another RadioButton I will call it. So this time RadioButton 2 with mnemonic, which belongs to this one, and I will call it now click this button, and of course we are going to attach it at the position left 0 top 2. Let me run the program and see how many mistakes we have. We forgot a semicolon. I think I'm going to make some changes here because the program is too long. Oh no, I'll let it. Okay, so again we have another problem, of course, because we need to cast. So GtkRadioButton cast. Okay. And we still have another problem. So GTK is incompatible. Yeah, of course, because new from widget. Sorry guys, we need from widget because we are creating from a widget. Okay, RadioButton 2. So GTK from RadioButton, and then here is the problem because we need to not there, here. Okay, so basically we have now. Let's make some changes. Let's put this one here and this one and the RadioButton 2 here. Okay, so now we have 0, 1, 2 let's see how it looks like. So now we have click the button, now click this button, and we have another radio button, which they are working fine. As you can see, they are linked here together, which is good, which is okay. So now we have 3 buttons. By having them, we can catch our signal. So G signal connect swap. Now I can remove this because my code blocks freeze. So we'll say radio button, and the signal will be toggle, and then the G call back cast, and then the toggle call back function, which we are going to create it in a moment, and then we pass again the radio button. Okay, so we create the first one, second one, and third one. This is the radio 2, and the other one, it is the new radio button. So now we can arrange these things so that they are looking better. Okay, now we need to create the toggle callback function, which is a good thing to start here. Okay, void, and then GTK widget. Oh no, let's see GTK radio button. GTK radio button, we are going to call it, and now we have the button. Let's see, let's find out which button was pressed. I mean, maybe we want to find out this thing and how we can do this. So we know that there is a function we talked in the last video. Let's go up here, and we have these functions. Okay, this one we need it, and this function help us to retrieve the group of the radio button where it belongs to. So let's say gs list, let's say, I know, let's call it group, wherever. It is not important now. We point to this function, and then we are passing the radio button. Now that we have the group which we are interested in it, we can use the while loop for this. This is just a linked list, so you should know what I'm doing here. There is also glib function which helps you to iterate a linked list, but it's not an object for our tutorial today. Today we are going to talk strictly only to these things, and that's it. Okay, so basically we are saying GTK radio button get group. We want to no, get group, sorry, get active. So basically GTK radio button get active. No, it's wrong, sorry. GTK toggle button. I'm messing up all the time these functions. So basically we want to see which button it is active. So, and this means we are accessing the data. Here the data belongs to the radio button which is pressed. So basically when you are pressing one of these buttons which we were creating here, then the button will be saved in the group, and we can then access it through data. Okay, so this is basically what I'm doing here. I say if GTK toggle button get active, the group data then I don't know, let's say g print, let's say radio button is active, for example. I don't know, I'm not coming now, and then we'll break if we found it because we don't need it anymore. And of course, once that we found it, we go up. If we're not, we move now to the next, which is group next. Okay, so what did we have here? We have a function which is called through when the toggle signal it's catched on one of these buttons, then this function it will be called. Once that function will be called, it will be passed the same widget which was when we were catching. This is the reason why we're using now and this time swap, because basically we need only one widget. So we are passing a radio button. Once that we are passing this radio button here, we are getting its group. So we are saving basically in a linked list the whole group. Once that we have it, we can iterate through this group by saying while group is not equal to null. So this is the same like you already know, something like this. And then we're saying if, what I'm doing here, if, because our if statement is missing. Okay, so we are saying if GTK toggle get active, which is group data, the button which it's active, if it is active, then print the button. Let's see what happens and how it is working. As you can see, this thing works fine. It's printing a double story here, but let us make some another changes. For example, let's create a static function, static gint, I don't know, let's say flag 1, and then here we are going to set flag so that we can RadioButton is the RadioButton flag is active, and then if it's not, we are going to increment it, and once that we have it and we are done, we are putting back to 1. Okay, so let's see what happens when we click those buttons. It says RadioButton 2 is active, which is true. Radio 1 is active, which is true, and RadioButton 3 is active, which is true. They are printing in reverse. You can reverse it, but if you want to have so that you click here 1 2 3 1 2 3, we can fix this too. But let's fix another thing. You saw that it was printing 2 times. This we can fix it by comparing only to the radio button which we are passing. So we don't want to find which button was pressed. Once that is found, compare it with the pressed button, and then print it. So this means we are going to set here and group data it's equal to our RadioButton. Then and only then, if both are true, print our button. So let's see what happens now. If I'm right, radio 2 1 0 2 1 3 1 and so on. Okay, so basically it works fine. Now how will you fix this? I mean, how will you fix a problem like this one? You see, maybe you want to have 1 2 3 and not 3 2 1. Well, there are some options for you, but I will show you the first one, which I have it now in mind, and this will be to attach the buttons in another way. So this means, watch here, I'm going to swap these things here, and then once that we swap them, sorry, so now we have we are going to say that the new radio button is 0, the radio button 2 is 1, and the radio button should be 2. What this means, what kind of changes we get here, we'll see in a moment. We are swapping the buttons here. I will click now here and says the radio button 1 is active, the radio button 2 is active, and the radio button 3 is active, you see? So basically you can make this trick and then you can fix it. Of course, when you run the program, you saw that this one is active, and maybe you want to have this one, like another radio button to be the first one. For this you need to set the active of the button to true, because this one is not the first one anymore, it is this one. We need to set the new radio button to true. So I was use the active one. You see now it's set to true. So basically this is the default choose or pressed radio button. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, and so on. So it works fine. So this is the way how you catch signals with these this is the way how you apply signals to this widget. The same story goes, of course, you know, if you say let me do something else, signal connect, let me copy this because if not we're going to have a lot of complicated things. I will change this to active this time, and I will say here active callback. So we have now a function which is called callback, void callback GTK RadioButton Now we are going to cast this button because we are not using it, radio button, and then we are going to say g print the mouse entered. Okay, we are not going to use active, we are going to use enter, and of course we are going to use leave, enter and leave. Okay, so we are going to change this one to enter callback. The mouse is enter on radio surface. I know what I'm not so good with text. I think you already noticed this. So basically this is the enter, and of course we are going to create the leave one. Leave callback. The mouse is leaving the radio surface, and then we are going to call this two callbacks, one here and another one is here, and then we are going to run the program, and you see once that I'm arriving here says let me put a new line character, because if not it's not so easy to understand it. I will going to use also here a tab just to see better. So now watch, basically I'm using enter and leave signals. You see the mouse is entering on the radio button surface, the mouse is leaving, and so on. So basically this is how you catch other signals which they are not belong to your widget. So as you can already learn with me in other tutorials when we are learning about signal events, I told you there are signals which you can use them, and there are signals which you cannot apply them because they are not there. Let me see something. The toggle button doesn't have it, I'm sure. The button signal, you see here are all those signals which the button has them, and I just took the enter and leave signal from here. Was just a random signal choice so that we can have them here, and this is the way how you apply signals. Now why I was talking today about toggle, and of course this one too, it is that because without these three function calls, and without this function, it will be too complicated, like I told you, to explain you about the actual signal which belongs to the radio button signal, which is group change, this one. So to can talk about this group change, we have first to make these steps. But anyway, let's talk again about the steps. What we did here, we create 3 buttons: radio button 1, 2, and the new radio button. And then once that we have them, we print them in the reverse order. Once that we were printing them, we were catching on every radio button the toggle signal, and then we're passing the toggle callback function, or we are calling it with its parameters. And once that we are calling, basically what we are doing after the toggle callback happens is that we searched a way to find out which button from our radio group buttons was active, was pressed, so that maybe later you want to make some changes. Once that you know how you do it, then you can proceed with your application to make it more let's say more easy for you to work with it, and doing those complicated things. So this is the very important thing which I want to talk to you from the beginning before we proceed with the group change. Once that we know now these things, and once that we understand these things, what I did today here, then you will notice in the next tutorial that or working with group change signal, it is not that complicated anymore, because I'm not finding a better way to show you how you can work with this signal. So maybe by showing you this, it came in my mind this example, then probably you will find a better way to use it in another place where you maybe find it more useful. Okay, so that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends, and until next time, see you guys.